Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be invisible until the moment you're the only one who can save a life? That's the question Gloria Warren never thought she'd have to answer. A shy accountant who spent her nights buried in spreadsheets, she never imagined that one whispered sentence in Mandarin would expose $1 million fraud and save a dying man halfway around the world. This is her story. St. Bridget Medical Center Finance Department. Close to midnight. Every desk sits dark, except one where Gloria hunches beneath a flickering fluorescent light, wire-rimmed glasses sliding down her nose. 26 years old, always wearing gray cardigans, always working alone. On her screen, an invoice that makes her stomach turn. Patient name Li Wei, Shanghai, China. ICU fees, CT scans, respiratory support numbers climbing far higher than any domestic case she's ever processed. Nearly triple the standard rates. Her hand trembles as she circles 3-line items in red pen. "That can't be right," she whispers. A single CT scan. Almost $3,000. She opens the internal pricing database. The numbers don't match. Her red pen moves again, circling, highlighting, questioning. This shy girl had always believed her job was simple punch. The numbers file, the reports go home. Don't ask questions. Don't make waves. But tonight the numbers were screaming. A wheelchair rolls past her cubicle, its wheels squeaking softly. Mr. Howard Bell, 71, white hair, catching the light, has been a patient here for months. Retired high school teacher. The kind of man who notices the people everyone else forgets. He stops, peers at her screen with kind eyes. "You look at numbers like you're examining something precious," he says. Gloria glances up, managing a tired smile. "It's just, if something's wrong, someone ends up paying for it. A real person. A real family." Howard leans forward. "Careful people like you are often underestimated until the day they become the ones holding the whole bridge together." He pauses. "When I was teaching, I once had a student who couldn't afford his textbooks. I reduced his tuition quietly. 20 years later, he was the surgeon who saved my life. Recognized my name on the chart." Gloria's eyes shimmer behind her glasses. She looks back at her screen at Li Wei's name glowing there. "Sometimes," Howard says gently, "kindness is just paying attention when no one else will." He wheels away, leaving her alone with a heartwarming reminder that small acts of courage ripple farther than anyone expects. Gloria prints the invoice with shaking hands. Then she opens her email inbox. A new message from Emily Brooks, head nurse. "Gloria, please help me file this with Li Wei's records. Medical coding sent it over. I don't read Mandarin. Please save it correctly under Mr. Li's billing file. Thanks." Attached an email thread. Half in English, half in flowing Chinese characters. Gloria's pulse quickens. She clicks it open. Most of the email contains standard medical terminology, treatment protocols, billing codes. But at the very bottom, one sentence in Mandarin sits highlighted in yellow. Gloria doesn't need a translation app. 2 years ago, this shy girl taught herself Mandarin by listening to finance podcasts during her lonely commute, tracing characters in notebook margins during lunch breaks. The sentence reads simply, "They will never find out." Her hand freezes on the mouse. The office suddenly feels 20 degrees colder. Somewhere above her, monitors beep steadily. Patients sleep in their beds. Families trust that the numbers are honest. And Gloria Warren, invisible night shift accountant, the shy girl everyone forgets, sits holding a secret that could either save lives or destroy her career. She stares at those 5 words in Mandarin until they blur. Then she saves the email to a hidden folder and whispers to the empty room. "What do I do now?" Because sometimes the most inspirational stories begin with the quietest voices and the hardest choices. Morning light filters through the CEO's office. Theodore Harrison, 34, sits behind his desk, new to the position. Brilliant, but emotionally distant. Emily Brooks stands before him. Theodore, something's wrong with our international patient billing. Charges are 1.5 to 2 times higher than domestic cases. Identical treatments. Different price tags. Theodore scans the summary. Speculation doesn't constitute evidence. I know what I'm seeing. What you're seeing could be premium service packages. Emily leans forward. Or it's fraud. He meets her eyes. Do you have anyone in finance you trust? There's a night shift accountant, Gloria Warren, obsessively thorough. She once offered to translate emails in Mandarin. Theodore's pen stops. She reads Mandarin, fluently. I need hard evidence, Emily, not intuition. Bring me proof, and I'll act. Gloria moves through the hospital like a shadow. In the break room, 2 men from Medical Tourism Coordination stand by the vending machine. Keaton sent the Mandarin draft email to Shanghai. The families don't know our base pricing. The other chuckles. These Shanghai families have money to burn. Gloria's hand freezes. Coffee overflows. How much will this Li Wei case total? Probably close to 200,000. Actual cost maybe 70-80 tops. They don't notice her. But this shy girl hears everything. That night, Gloria cross-references every international patient admission from 6 months. Pattern after pattern emerges. Chinese surnames, Mandarin correspondence, CT scan fees marked up 200%. This is systematic exploitation. She creates a hidden folder, International Billing Discrepancies, Confidential Review. The elevator dings. She minimizes the screen. Dr. Miles Keaton appears. 45 silver at his temples. Medical Coding Director. His signature appears on every flagged invoice. Still here, Gloria. His gaze lingers on her monitor. Just catching up on filings. He leans against her cubicle. Most accountants simply process what they're given. They don't ask unnecessary questions. Her throat goes dry. I just like to be thorough. Thorough is admirable, but overthinking complicates procedures. International billing operates differently. You understand basic accounting, but not hospital strategic operations. The dismissal stings. I understand that if patients discover discrepancies, if you want to keep advancing, he interrupts, focus on your actual responsibilities. Don't speculate about systems you're not qualified to evaluate. And if you have questions, come directly to me. Clear. She nods, pulse hammering. This isn't just fraud. It's a threat. 2 days pass. Emily finds Gloria in the stairwell, hunched on a step. You look like you haven't slept in a week. Gloria's eyes fill. I'm fine. You're the opposite of fine. Finally. What if you knew something terrible was happening, but you were the only person who could prove it, and proving it meant losing everything? Is this about the international billing? Gloria's breath is answer enough. I suspected something too. But Theodore needs concrete evidence. What if I had that evidence? Emily's eyes widen. Do you? Gloria grips her folder. Dr. Keaton warned me not to complicate things. He said being too thorough could be a career liability. I think he knows someone's digging. That's a direct threat. Emily places a hand on Gloria's shoulder. Theodore's older brother died because a hospital covered up a medical error. Ever since he's been obsessed with transparency. If you have real evidence, he'll protect you. But you have to trust him. Will he believe someone like me? You're somebody who learned Mandarin on her own time. Somebody who pays attention when everyone else looks away. That makes you exactly the person we need. That night, Gloria types subject urgent, international patient billing irregularities. Mr. Harrison, I've identified systematic discrepancies in international patient billing that constitute fraudulent practices. Attached is comprehensive documentation. The numbers indicate real families are being exploited. Gloria Warren. She attaches the folder. Every flagged invoice, every Mandarin email, every unexplainable markup. Her cursor hovers over send. She thinks of Howard's words. Careful people are underestimated until they hold the bridge together. She thinks of Li Wei's family trusting American medicine while being quietly robbed. Then she closes her eyes and clicks send. Gloria sits in darkness, waiting for her world to either shatter or transform. Because the most heartwarming acts of courage often begin with the most terrifying leaps of faith. 3 days after Gloria sends the email, yellow evidence tape cordons off her desk. What's happening? IT audit, routine procedure. Nothing feels routine. Theodore appears by the stairwell. She follows. He hands her a laptop. Your old computer was seized this morning, before Keaton could access it. He knows someone reported him. He suspects. Board meeting. Today at 2. I need you there. Me, why? Because I need someone who can translate that Mandarin email in real time, in front of the entire board. I can't. You're the only person qualified. If we don't try, Keaton walks away. 1:30. Gloria sits outside the boardroom, hands trembling. Emily crouches beside her. Remember the ICU, you spoke their language. You promised them the truth. Through the glass, Dr. Keaton arrives, confident and smiling. He sees Gloria and his expression flickers. He knows, and he's not worried. That makes her angry enough to stand. The boardroom feels like a courtroom. Theodore begins. We have a critical situation regarding international patient billing. Keaton leans back. If this concerns premium pricing, we've discussed this. The fees reflect systematic fraud. The room freezes. That's an extremely serious accusation. Theodore displays a spreadsheet. Li Wei's bills versus identical domestic cases. Markups glow in red. A board member frowns. Discrepancies don't automatically indicate fraud. Intent requires proof of deliberate deception. Theodore advances the slide. Email chains appear. Half English, half Mandarin. Gloria, please join us. Gloria enters. Every eye turns. Keaton's expression hardens. What is she doing here? Ms. Warren is our senior accountant. She's also fluent in Mandarin. Theodore projects an email with a yellow highlighted sentence. Dr. Keaton, could you explain what the final line communicates? Standard confirmation phrase. Gloria, would you read that line, first in Mandarin, then in English? Her voice carries, they will never find out. Pause. That's the English translation. Keaton erupts. She's lying. You're taking a junior accountant's word over a medical director. Theodore remains calm. I hired an independent certified translation service. Their notarized analysis is identical. The CFO leans forward. Miles, what specifically were you referring to? This is out of context. I don't think so. Theodore produces a recording device. This audio was captured in the hospital elevator. Gloria, would you translate? He presses play. Two voices speak rapid Mandarin. Gloria translates, they can't read Chinese anyway. We can double the price and they won't notice. Keaton says the bills are already sent. The Chinese version has no itemization. Silence. Theodore advances to bank records. Wire transfers to offshore accounts. Over 18 months, 47 international cases. Average markup 215%. Total fraudulent overbilling $4.3 million. A board member gasps. Keaton stands. You have no legal right. The FBI does. I contacted them 72 hours ago. The boardroom erupts. Theodore raises one hand. Mr. Li Wei is 68. Your scheme nearly killed him by destroying his family's trust. The only reason Mr. Li is alive today is because someone had the courage to read what you assumed nobody could understand. Keaton glares at Gloria. You did this. Gloria lifts her chin and meets his eyes. No, Dr. Keaton, you did this. You exploited vulnerable people. I just refuse to stay silent. Security enters. Dr. Miles Keaton, you're suspended pending federal investigation. Badge and credentials. Now. Keaton slams his ID onto the table, stares at Gloria one final time, then security escorts him out. The boardroom empties. Theodore returns with 2 coffees. He sits beside Gloria. You did well. I thought I was going to pass out. So did I, but you didn't. What happens to the Lee family now? We're refunding $93,000 and covering all remaining care costs. And the other families? Every case is under review. We're offering full audits and restitution. Silence settles. Theodore, why did you believe me? You could have ignored my email. He's quiet. When he speaks, his voice carries old pain. My brother was 29 when he died. Routine surgery. A nurse noticed a medication error. She reported it. Her supervisor buried the report. 3 days later, my brother coded. Gloria's throat closes. The nurse quit. I never learned her name. Never got to tell her she was right. So when you came to me with evidence risking everything, I wasn't going to make the same mistake. I wasn't going to silence the one voice telling the truth. I'm sorry about your brother. I'm sorry it took losing him to teach me how to listen. They sit together as afternoon light angles through windows. Because courage doesn't roar. It whispers. And the whole world changes when someone finally hears. That evening, Gloria stands outside the ICU for the second time in a week. This time she's arriving with answers. Emily meets her at the nurse's station. The Lee family has been asking for you. Mr. Lee is awake and stable. He wants to thank you personally. Inside the ICU room, Mr. Li Wei sits propped against pillows, color returned to his face. His wife sits beside the bed. Their daughter stands near the window, eyes red from relief. When they see Gloria, all 3 turn toward her. The daughter rushes forward, gripping Gloria's hands. You came back. I promised I would investigate. Mr. Lee's wife speaks in Mandarin. We thought you were just being kind. We didn't believe anyone would actually help us. We're just foreigners here. Gloria responds in Mandarin. You're not just anything. You're a family who deserves honesty. Every family does. Mr. Lee speaks, voice weak but warm. My daughter told me what you did, how you learned our language, how you exposed the people stealing from us. You are young, quiet. Yet you fought for us when no one else would. I'm just an accountant. I just looked at the numbers. No. The daughter shakes her head. You saw people behind the numbers. You saw us. Mrs. Lee approaches, holding a small package wrapped in red silk. She presses it into Gloria's hands, speaking in Mandarin. In our culture, we say, one good deed creates 1,000 ripples. Please accept this gift. Inside the silk, a delicate jade pendant carved with a single Chinese character, integrity. I can't accept this, please, Mr. Lee insists. Wear it and remember that your voice mattered. Gloria fastens the pendant around her neck. I'll treasure this. The daughter hands her a handwritten note. We're going home to Shanghai next week. Father is strong enough now. We'll never forget the shy American girl who spoke our language and saved our trust. They embraced this unlikely family bound together by crisis and kindness. Late that evening, Gloria finds Howard Bell sitting on his usual bench in the hospital garden. "I heard what happened in the boardroom," he says. "The whole hospital's talking about you." She sits beside him. "That's my worst nightmare. Get used to it. You're not invisible anymore." He studies her. "How does it feel? Terrifying. Exhausting." She touches the pendant. "But also maybe a little bit right." "That's courage, Gloria. Not the absence of fear. Just doing what matters while your knees are shaking." They sit in comfortable silence. "When I was teaching," Howard says, "I had a student who was painfully shy. Brilliant, but terrified of speaking. I started calling on her anyway. Gently. You know what happened?" "What?" "She became a civil rights attorney. Argued cases before the Supreme Court. Changed laws that protected millions." He looks at Gloria. "Sometimes shy people are just waiting for the right moment to use their voice. And when they finally speak, the world listens." 1 week later, Theodore calls Gloria to his office. He gestures to a chair. "Personnel completed their review of your employment file. They recommended immediate promotion. Director of International Patient Financial Services. You'll oversee all foreign billing audit, every international case, and report directly to me. 20% salary increase." Gloria stares. "I don't have the qualifications. I've never managed anyone. You're the person who learned Mandarin on your own time, who identified systematic fraud our entire compliance department missed, who risked everything to protect vulnerable patients." He slides a folder across the desk. "Those are the only qualifications that matter." She opens the folder, sees her name on official letterhead. "Theodore, I don't know how to be a director. I'm not confident like you." Neither was I when they made me CEO. Leadership isn't about being the loudest. It's about caring enough to act when action is hard. You've proven you can do that. What if I fail? Then you'll fail with integrity, which is better than succeeding through silence. She traces the folder's edge. "Why are you really doing this? You could have handled this quietly." His expression becomes distant. "Because when my brother died, the hospital paid my family money and made us sign agreements never to speak about it. They never fixed the problem. 6 months later, someone else's brother died exactly the same way. Same medication error, same silence. I've carried that for 8 years." Gloria's breath catches. "I don't want St. Bridget to be that hospital. I'd rather tear down every broken system and rebuild than let that pattern continue." He meets her eyes. "You showed me it's possible to choose transparency over convenience. So yes, I'm promoting you. And yes, I'm making our mistakes public. Because healing requires honesty, even when honesty hurts. Then I accept. But I'm going to need help. We're all still learning. That's the point." That afternoon, Emily appears in Gloria's new office carrying coffee. "Director Warren has a nice ring to it." It sounds fake, like someone else's life. "It's your life now." Emily hands her the coffee. "You know what this means. You're going to be the person shy employees come to when they spot problems. You'll decide whether to believe them." The responsibility settles over Gloria like a mantle. "Then I'll listen. Always. Because I know what it feels like to have something important to say, and no one willing to hear it." Emily smiles. "That's why you're perfect for this job." As evening falls, Gloria walks through the hospital. She passes the finance basement where she spent years invisible, passes the elevator where she overheard the confession that changed everything. passes the ICU where she made a promise in Mandarin. She touches the jade pendant at her throat, integrity carried close to her heart. Somewhere in this building, someone might be noticing something wrong, debating whether to speak up, scared of what honesty might cost. Gloria makes a silent promise to be the person who listens when that moment comes. Because voices don't need to be loud to be heard. They just need to be honest. And in the right moment, even a whisper can echo across oceans. 3 weeks after the boardroom confrontation, St. Bridget Medical Center begins transforming. New protocols appear on every floor. International patients now receive itemized bills in their native language within 24 hours, along with direct contact information for a patient advocate who speaks their language. Gloria's new office sits on the 3rd floor with a window overlooking the hospital garden. Her old desk lamp from the basement sits on her new desk. The brass nameplate reads, Gloria Warren, Director, International Patient Financial Services. She still arrives early, still drinks too much coffee, still circles discrepancies in red pen. But now when she identifies problems, people listen. Dr. Miles Keaton is formally indicted on 14 counts, including healthcare fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy. His medical license is suspended indefinitely. 2 coordinators from the Medical Tourism Office resign. A 3rd agrees to testify against Keaton, providing detailed records of the scheme. Theodore holds a press conference. St. Bridget Medical Center failed our international patients. We prioritized profit over people. We exploited language barriers and trust. That ends today. One reporter asks, who discovered the fraud? Theodore pauses. A dedicated employee who looked at billing records and saw human beings rather than revenue opportunities. She had the courage to speak up when staying silent would have been safer. He doesn't say her name. Gloria, watching via live stream, feels grateful. 1 month after her promotion, Theodore calls Gloria to his office. We've completed reviews of 32 cases, she reports. Average overbilling was 218%. We're processing refunds ranging from $45,000 to $130,000 per family. Theodore nods. What's the total financial impact? Approximately $3.7 million in refunds, plus legal fees and system overhaul expenses. It's expensive to fix this. It's more expensive not to. He closes the report. Gloria, I want to establish an international patient protection office. Independent oversight of all foreign billing, staffed by people who speak the patient's languages. I want you to design it. Design an entire department. You built the audit system we're using now. You identified gaps our compliance team missed for years. Build something that prevents this from ever happening again. I'll need resources, staff, budget for translators. You'll have them. Whatever you need. She takes a breath. Then yes, I'll do it. Late afternoon cafeteria. Gloria sits with Emily over coffee. Director Warren, Emily teases. Who even are you anymore? Gloria laughs. I ask myself that constantly. You've earned this. You didn't get promoted because someone felt sorry for you. You got promoted because you proved you care more about doing what's right than protecting yourself. I was just trying to help one family. That's how real change happens. One person refusing to accept, this is just how things are. Emily's expression softens. You've changed this place, Gloria. Not just the billing practices, the culture. People ask questions now. Speak up when something feels wrong. You made it safe to care. That evening, Gloria visits Mr. Lee one final time before his family's return to Shanghai. The daughter embraces her. We leave tomorrow morning. Father is strong enough to travel home now. Mr. Lee stands speaking in Mandarin. Miss Gloria, we wanted to say goodbye properly and thank you one last time. I'm just glad you're well enough to go home. Mrs. Lee holds Gloria's hands. You gave us more than refunded money. You gave us back our faith that good people still exist. The daughter adds in English, you showed us that even in a foreign country, someone cared enough to fight for us. That's a gift we'll carry forever. Before leaving, the daughter hands Gloria a letter. Read this later when you're alone. They embrace one final time this unlikely bond formed through crisis and courage. Late that night, Gloria sits in her apartment and opens the letter. The handwriting is careful, heartfelt. Dear Gloria, in Chinese we say, one good deed creates 1,000 ripples. You created ripples that will protect families we'll never meet. You call yourself a shy girl who learned Mandarin for podcasts. But we see a hero who proved that courage doesn't require loudness, that integrity doesn't require power, that one honest voice can change an entire broken system. Wear the pendant we gave you. Remember that your voice mattered, that you mattered. And when the world tries to make you small and invisible again, because it will remember the Shanghai family, whose lives you saved by refusing to stay silent. With deepest gratitude, the Lee family. Gloria pins it to her refrigerator beside a photo of the Lee family healthy and whole. Healing looks like this. Not perfect, not without scars, but honest, transparent, moving forward with eyes open and hearts willing to change. Because the most inspirational truth is often the simplest one. Person refusing to look away can spark transformation that echoes far beyond what they'll ever witness. 6 weeks after the federal indictment, St. Bridget Medical Center holds a small ceremony, not a celebration, a recognition. Gloria sits in the third row, Emily beside her. You're not hiding today, Emily whispers. I'm absolutely trying to. Theodore approaches the podium. We gather today not to congratulate ourselves, but to acknowledge a profound institutional failure and the people who refused to let that failure define us. 6 weeks ago, this hospital was placed under federal investigation for systematic fraud targeting international patients. Uncomfortable silence ripples through the crowd. We failed vulnerable people. We chose profit. We exploited trust. He pauses. But we have a chance to rebuild. And if we have that chance, it's because one person decided that kindness mattered more than keeping her job. His eyes find Gloria. Gloria Warren, please stand. She freezes. Emily pulls her to her feet. Applause builds genuine and warm. Gloria didn't have authority, didn't have power, didn't have permission to challenge how things worked. Theodore's voice softens. She just had integrity, a self-taught understanding of Mandarin, and the refusal to let people suffer in silence. After the ceremony, Mr. Li Wei walks toward her, no cane now walking steadily. His wife and daughter flank him. Miss Gloria. The daughter embraces her. We came back from Shanghai just for this. Mr. Li speaks in Mandarin. We wanted you to see that your courage had lasting effects. I'm alive, healthy, teaching calligraphy again, because you refused to stay silent. Gloria's eyes fill. I'm so happy you're well. Mrs. Lee presents a photograph of the Lee family outside their Shanghai home, surrounded by 3 generations. Written on the back, forever grateful to the American girl who saw people, not numbers. Hang this in your office. Remember that your voice changed our family's future. Late afternoon, the hospital garden. Theodore appears with 2 coffees. Mind if I join you? It's your hospital. It's everyone's hospital. That's the entire point. He sits. They watch the garden in silence. You know, Theodore says, when I accepted this position, I believed leadership meant being the smartest person in every meeting. That sounds correct. It's completely wrong. Leadership is listening to people everyone else dismisses, believing evidence over ego. He pauses. You taught me that. I didn't teach you anything. I just tried to help one family. You taught me that the person with the least institutional power can still have the most institutional integrity. That quiet courage matters more than loud authority. Thank you for believing me. Thank you for giving me something worth believing in. That evening, Gloria drives home as sunset paints the sky. The jade pendant rests warm against her skin. For the first time in her 26 years, Gloria Warren doesn't feel invisible. She feels seen, heard, valued. Weeks later, an envelope arrives. No return address. Postmarked from Beijing. A handwritten letter, Dear Gloria, you don't know me. I was one of 47 patients whose bills were reviewed because of your investigation. I came from Beijing for cancer treatment last year. I almost left, couldn't afford the bills, didn't trust the numbers. Then St. Bridget called. Apologized. Refunded $73,000. Explained everything in Mandarin. I stayed. Treatment worked. I'm in remission now. I go home next month. Alive. Because you refused to stay silent when silence was safer. You proved that one voice, even a quiet one, can echo across oceans and save lives continents away. Thank you for being brave when you were terrified. With eternal gratitude, Chen Ming. Gloria reads it 3 times, vision blurring. Then she pins it beside the Lee family's photo on her office wall. A reminder. A testament to what happens when invisible people decide they matter. The hospital hums around her patients, healing families, hoping numbers, aligning with truth. And in her small office overlooking the garden, Gloria Warren, once a shy girl who learned Mandarin for podcasts, now leads a team dedicated to one principle. Every bill tells a story. Every number represents a life. And transparency isn't just policy. It's love expressed through honesty. Because the most inspirational transformations begin with the smallest acts of courage and echo far beyond what we'll ever witness.